Hello and welcome to Beyond the Page. In this series we look at your favourite comic creators and see just how they got their start working in comics. Today we're looking at Kelly Sue DeConnick, known for her work on Pretty Deadly, Captain Marvel and Bitch Planet. She also coincidentally happens to be married to Matt Fraction, who I spoke about in last week's episode of Beyond the Page. Much like her husband, Kelly Sue DeConnick is another writer I haven't previously read, and so I'm looking forward to learning as much as I can about her. Her perspective for writing female characters and her ability to interweave political themes into her comics have made her very popular. But who is she outside the world of comics? In this video we aim to find out, so strap in and get ready as we go Beyond the Page. Kelly Sue DeConnick is an American comic writer and was born on July 15, 1970 in Ohio. In the She Makes Comics documentary, Kelly Sue DeConnick reveals that she was raised on various military bases because her father was in the United States Air Force. She says that comics were a part of a base culture and her mother used to buy Wonder Woman comics to give to DeConnick as rewards. DeConnick was first introduced to the comic industry by writing copy for photos in adult magazines. She eventually moved on to posting her own stories on a message board, the owner of which invited her to work on his new website at the time, where she wrote catalogue entries for comic book issues. Later in life, she got a job translating Japanese manga comics from Tokyo Pop and Viz. In order to make sure the dialogue she was translating to English still followed the story arcs, she worked with a translator. DeConnick did this for 7 years and estimates that she wrote over 11,000 comic book pages. About her work in translation, she said, "When people say dialogue is the best part of my scripts, it's because I have a lot of practice." DeConnick's first published comic book story was a 5-page text story published in CSI Crime Scene Investigations Domino No. 5, which was released in December 2004. DeConnick uses her position in comics to promote feminism and feminist ideas. She started the #VisibleWomen movement on Twitter in March 2016 to disabuse the folks of the notion that women comic artists are rare, to get the eyes on said artists and to get them work. With the help of this movement, women submitted their works on social media to increase their visibility in the comics industry. It is open to colorists, letters, inkers and writers. Rules for submission can be found on the website of the production company owned by her and her husband, Milk-Fed Criminal Masterminds. I'll leave a link in the description of this video if anyone is interested. DeConnick makes a point to break the damsel in distress stereotype in her work. She received backlash from the comic fans for several of the changes she chose to make to Carol Danvers during her work on the Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel comics. The changes resulted in accusations of being an angry feminist and taking the character and inserting a feminist agenda. Regarding the opportunity to write Carol Danvers, DeConnick said, "Pretty much any chance I get to write female characters, I'm going to write them because I want to see more of them." She received criticism over her approach to the character before the first issue was even published, because of the worry that her feminist beliefs would become more important than good writing of the character. Using her family background in the Air Force, she was able to add an extra dimension to Danvers' character development and gave it a personal angle. During this time, the character's codename and uniform were changed, although DeConnick noted that plans for these changes predated her involvement by years. With this new and improved Danvers, DeConnick's influence was seen in the 2019 Captain Marvel film, which starred Brie Larson. DeConnick also proposed the sexy lamp test adjunct to the Bechdel test. In a 2012 interview, she said, "If you can replace your female character with a sexy lamp and the story still basically works, maybe you need another draft." In response to male fans' criticism of Captain Marvel, DeConnick created her series Bitch Planet. She explained, "If you want to see an angry feminist, then I'll show you." Bitch Planet is a dystopian series where non-compliant women are sent to a correction facility on another planet. DeConnick cites Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale and RoboCop as influences. In Bitch Planet, women who do not follow the rules of the patriarchy are put in jail and are given non-compliant tattoos. Many fans of the comic have got these same symbols tattooed on their bodies because they want to connect more with the women in the comic. DeConnick brought it up in a 99U talk and said, "You don't get that tattoo to celebrate something in the book, you get that tattoo because the book celebrates something in you." The original series published 10 issues between December 2014 and April 2017, followed by a 5-issue limited series published from June to October 2017. DeConnick first met artist Delandro at Fan Expo Canada in Toronto. She liked his work and particularly liked the heavy use of blacks and shades in order to portray character emotion. After they exchanged information, they planned to collaborate on a Marvel comic. However, they did not find the opportunity to do so, and so decided to create their own comic series instead. Delandro chose Bitch Planet over 2 other projects DeConnick was also writing. Most of the cover art is done by Delandro, though every 3rd issue contains illustration by a guest artist. Kelly Sue DeConnick began writing DC's Aquaman with issue 43 in December 2018. She has said she was interested in the character because he's not as well known as his Justice League counterparts. In a 2018 interview, DeConnick said Aquaman is considered a second-tier character that makes him an underdog to start with, which is a place I'd really like to work from. In response to those worried about her changing the character, DeConnick also said, "I'm writing my Aquaman. I've done my research. Taking interest in the character is just one thing, but crafting your own unique approach is another." DeConnick's run on Aquaman picked up after the Justice League Aquaman crossover event Drowned Earth. At the end of the story, Arthur Curry was presumed dead after saving the world. In Aquaman number 43, we find Arthur stranded on an island with no memory of who he is or how he got there. And the inhabitants of the village of Unspoken Water, while kindly, are not who they might seem. There's a really great interview with Polygon in which DeConnick talks about Aquaman. I'll leave a link in the description below. With the upcoming Captain Marvel 2 film set to be released in 2022, although not confirmed, it is likely that DeConnick will again act as a consultant for the character, much like she did for the first film, although it's not likely she'll cameo in the sequel like she did in the first film as a passenger on the train. Alongside this, as I touched on in last episode, DeConnick and her husband Matt Fraction are currently developing television for Legendary TV under their company, Milk-Fed Criminal Masterminds. Recently, DC announced that DeConnick was the writer for a new Wonder Woman story under the DC Black label. The first of the 3 graphic novels will be titled Wonder Woman Historia: The Amazons. Kelly Sue DeConnick will be the sole writer for the story, with different artists for each of the 3 books. In a blog post of the Milk-Fed Criminal Masterminds website, DeConnick wrote this of the upcoming story. Millennia ago, Queen Hera and the goddesses of the Olympian pantheon grew greatly dissatisfied with their male counterparts, and far from their sight, they put a plan into action. A new society was born, one never before seen on Earth, capable of wondrous and terrible things, but their existence could not stay secret for long. When a despairing woman named Hippolyta crossed the Amazon path, a series of events was set into motion that would lead to an outright war in heaven, and the creation of Earth's greatest guardian. Book 1 will be released on October 19th, 2021, with Phil Jimenez artwork. Book 2 and 3 will be released in spring and fall of 2022 respectively, with artist Gene Hart on Book 2 and Nicola Scott on Book 3. That's it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching, if anyone is still watching. I hope you enjoyed and were able to learn something new. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and consider subscribing down below. If you have any suggestions for creators you would like to see me cover, then please also leave a comment below. But for now that's all, so I'll see you later. Bye!